Step number 5 in the art of falling asleep, thanks for being here by the way, is to be present versus shut off the brain. I know what you mean when you say you can't fall asleep because you can't shut off the brain. And what I think you're really trying to say is that you're having trouble falling asleep because there are thoughts and emotions that are interfering with your ability to be present and receive the relaxation that's already taking place. So when you receive this relaxation, what's happening is it's a default mechanism it pushes you in the present, right? You become almost too tired to think about anything else that's going on. And this is the normal process of falling asleep that we've kind of gotten out of because of many different reasons. But for some people, they're purely reasons of competence or bad concepts. So being present is just our opportunity to get back on this bus that may have passed the first time around and we didn't have a ticket for it, right? So we want to be in the present moment because sleep can't happen in the future and it can't happen in the past. And whenever we can't shut off the brain, we're just thinking about one of those places. And the thing I figured out is that whenever I've tried to figure out what was going to happen in the future or interpret what happened in the past, I was always wrong. No matter how much context I had, I'm always wrong because of this thing called the human brain, where we make emotions out of things. We interpret things like way too wildly, and we tend to place emphasis on what could go wrong, right? And so being present is just aligning biologically so that really what you're aligned with is honesty. Because that's what sleep is honesty, right? It only happens in the present moment, and sleep is not concerned with anything else other than healing your body. There's this huge desire for your body to heal. So when you're able to put your mind in the present moment, then your body will just take over. That's all you got to do. Now, there's a reason why being present isn't step 1 or the only step. When people reach for things like sleeping pills, that's what they're trying to do, is be present. But what I implore you to do is go through these other 4 steps: deciding, balancing, releasing, becoming, so that by the time you get to being present, it isn't such a task. It doesn't take like an all hands on deck approach to like force sleep to happen. This is something that's really easy, and really if you go through these other 4 steps, you're already put into the present. So you're not needing to become present, you're just needing to stay present. And at this point, it's not hard at all. All you have to do is become like a door person, like a bouncer for anything that starts to approach your arena of thought that isn't in the present. And it's just like the first step of deciding. These are competing commitments. When you start to notice, you'll start to think about something. And if you've gone through these 4 steps, if you're aware that presence is a concept that's really useful for falling asleep, you're going to be introduced to these competing commitments, and right away you're going to be able to say, oh, excuse me, we're not doing that right now. So it's okay if these commitments, these competing commitments, step into your arena of thought, as long as you're aware it's happening, because then you can escort them out. And if you're able to do this, then this becomes less and less of a challenge. And if you honor these steps in the art of falling asleep, remember, you're becoming a better sleeper. You're building more confidence. So the more you do this, then the less that you actually have to do this. And this is what I help people do, is really not have to go through a checklist when they go to sleep. It's nice to have a checklist like this. If you're not working with a coach on your sleep, it certainly can be useful. That's why I'm doing this. It can be useful to have a checklist. But the idea is to become the checklist, for you to, on an unconscious level, go through these steps. And that's what I help people do. So don't be overwhelmed if you're watching this and you're struggling with sleep and you're thinking like, okay, that sounds great, but my problem is beyond that. Trust me that I trust my belief that there is no sleep problem out there that can't be overcome using these steps. Every form of resistance with sleep is identified, approached, manipulated, and built rapport with. Did I say that correctly? I hope so. Sounded good. But it's all here in The Art of Falling Asleep. Now, the prerequisite is that you do all the basics. I've talked about that, many times. You have to get just enough, just a little bit. If you're not getting any sunlight at all, you have to get a little bit of sunlight. You must block blue light, at least a little bit, please. But if you do those things, then whatever is still interfering with your sleep, it's all here in The Art of Falling Asleep. Now, some people might be going through some extreme, overwhelming emotional circumstances, and it's still in The Art of Falling Asleep. You just have to go deeper. But I really do believe that the key to overcoming any sleep problem is here. So please dive in deep. If anything doesn't make sense, please reach out to me personally. I will make sure that it does and that you have the steps to go forward with this. Okay? That's it. That's my time. Thank you for being here. And I believe in everybody's ability to sleep. I know you can do this. You were made to be sleepers. Have a great day and night.